In the world of hip-hop, few names resonate as profoundly as Tupac Shakur, a revolutionary artist, a voice for the voiceless, and an icon whose influence endures long after his death. This is the story of Tupac Shakur, from his early struggles to his rise to fame, his tragic death, and the legacy he left behind. Born on June 16, 1971, in East Harlem, New York, Tupac Amaru Shakur was the son of Afeni Shakur, a member of the Black Panther Party. His early life was marked by struggle and activism, growing up in a family deeply involved in the fight for civil rights and social justice. From a young age, Tupac was exposed to the harsh realities of the world, but he also learned the importance of fighting for justice and using his voice to speak out against oppression. Tupac was always curious, always asking questions about the world. He had a passion for learning and a drive to make a difference. Even as a kid, you could tell Pac was special. He had this charisma and this fire in him that set him apart. Despite the challenges of his upbringing, Tupac found solace and expression through the arts. He attended the Baltimore School for the Arts, where he studied acting, poetry, jazz, and ballet. Tupac's talent for performance was evident early on. His time at the Baltimore School for the Arts helped him hone his skills and discover his love for music and poetry. It wasn't long before he began to make a name for himself in the local rap scene. Tupac was a natural performer. Whether he was acting or rapping, he had this ability to captivate an audience. In the studio, Pac was a beast. His lyrics were powerful, and he had this intensity that was unmatched. In the late 1980s, Tupac joined the hip-hop group Digital Underground as a backup dancer and rapper. This opportunity gave him his first taste of the music industry and set the stage for his solo career. Tupac's talent and charisma quickly shone through. In 1991, he released his debut solo album, Tupacalypse Now, which tackled issues like police brutality, racism, and social inequality. The album was controversial, but established Tupac as a powerful voice in hip-hop. As Tupac's fame grew, so did his influence. Albums like Strictly For My and Me Against the World cemented his status as one of the most important voices in hip-hop. His music was raw, emotional, and unapologetically honest. Tupac's music was authentic and raw. He rapped about the struggles they faced in the street and gave his people hope. He was a poet, a storyteller, and an activist. His lyrics were deeply personal, yet universally relatable. Beyond his music, Tupac was also a passionate advocate for social justice. He used his platform to speak out against inequality and to inspire change. Tupac once said in an interview, "I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world." Despite his success, Tupac's life was marred by legal troubles and controversies. He faced numerous charges and lawsuits, and his outspoken nature often put him at odds with the authorities and the media. Tupac's legal issues were complex and multifaceted. He was a target because of his fame and his outspokenness. He was always in the spotlight, and that made him a target, but he never backed down. He always stood his ground. In 1995, Tupac was convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to prison. During his time behind bars, he continued to write and record music, releasing his critically acclaimed album, Me Against the World. Even in prison, Tupac's spirit remained unbroken. He used his time to reflect and create, and his music continued to resonate with his fans. After serving 9 months, Tupac was released from prison, thanks to the intervention of Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records. Tupac quickly signed with the label and began working on new music with a renewed sense of purpose. Under Death Row, Tupac released the double album All Eyez on Me, which became a massive commercial success. The album showcased Tupac's versatility and solidified his place as one of the greatest rappers of all time. However, his time with Death Row was also marked by intense rivalry and conflict, particularly with fellow rapper The Notorious Big. What began as a friendship turned into a bitter feud, fueled by misunderstandings and media sensationalism. The feud between Tupac and Biggie was tragic. They were both incredibly talented artists who could have achieved so much more together. This is what one of his fellow artists had to say on the beef between Pac and Biggie. "It was a dark time in hip-hop. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry overshadowed the music, and it led to so much unnecessary violence." The rivalry escalated, with both sides exchanging diss tracks and public insults. The tension between East Coast and West Coast rap scenes grew, creating a volatile and dangerous environment. On September 7, 1996, Tupac attended a Mike Tyson boxing match in Las Vegas. After the fight, he was involved in an altercation with a gang member in the lobby of the MGM Grand. Later that night, while driving with Suge Knight, Tupac was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting. The attack left Tupac critically injured. He was rushed to the hospital, where he fought for his life for 6 days before succumbing to his injuries on September 13, 1996. He was just 25 years old. The news of Tupac's death sent shockwaves through the music community and beyond. Fans, friends, and fellow artists mourned the loss of a revolutionary artist whose voice had been silenced way too soon. The circumstances surrounding Tupac's death have been the subject of much speculation and controversy. Despite numerous theories and investigations, the case remains officially unsolved. Some believe it was a result of the East Coast-West Coast feud, while others suggest more complex conspiracies involving law enforcement and industry insiders. There are many theories about who was responsible for Tupac's death, but concrete evidence has been hard to come by. The case remains one of the most infamous unsolved murders in music history. Some believe that Tupac faked his own death and is still alive today. While there's no hard evidence to support this, the enduring mystery keeps fans intrigued. The unresolved nature of Tupac's murder adds to his legend, making him a symbol of both the triumphs and the tragedies of the hip-hop world. The loss of Tupac had a profound impact on his family and friends. To them, he was more than just an iconic artist. He was a beloved son, brother, and friend. The community that Tupac grew up in also felt the loss deeply. Murals and tributes sprang up across the country as fans and neighbors came together to honor his memory. Despite his untimely death, Tupac's legacy continues to live on. His posthumous releases, including The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory, Until the End of Time, and Loyal to the Game, have kept his voice alive in the hearts of fans. Tupac's music continues to inspire new generations of artists. His influence can be seen in the work of rising stars and established artists alike, who cite him as a major inspiration. His tragic story also raises important questions about the music industry and the support systems in place for young artists. The pressures of sudden fame, the risks of public exposure, and the challenges of navigating a dangerous environment all play a role in the lives of many rising stars. Tupac Shakur's story is a poignant reminder of the power of art and the impact one individual can have on the world. He rose from humble beginnings to become a global icon, using his voice to inspire and provoke change. Though his life was cut short, his music and spirit continue to resonate with fans around the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more stories about the lives of influential artists.